which one of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is the better big game quarterback? Oh, we haven't talked about this enough because, of course, Lamar has the better resume and legacy so far, right? The Heisman in college, 2 MVP seasons. He's made it to the championship game last year and fell to Mahomes. Who doesn't lose to Patrick Mahomes? But Josh Allen has clearly had the better statistical resume and the better career winning percentage in the postseason, including a win in 2020 against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, 17-3. So you can say this answer has still yet to be written between these two guys. Statistically, you look at Josh Allen, and he has not left much to be desired. He has been very good, really good in the playoffs, spectacular in the playoffs. We can go back to 2021 to the divisional round with the Chiefs and Bills, 13 seconds. We can do that all over again, but the fact remains that Josh Allen won the Bills that football game, and just 2 plays took it right out of his hands. Yeah. He did kind of slay the dragon. The dragon came out of the grave and came back to life. Yeah, and that's what happens. That's why it feels like we talked about this too. When you play Patrick Mahomes from here on forward, really past couple of years included, those losses are excusable. Yes. I will not criticize a quarterback for losing to Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. That is that is due cause. Like, you're good. You're fine. We'll get them next year. This game right here for both of these guys, though, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, this is a must-win. I'm not here to debate whether or not which guy needs it more for their legacy. That doesn't matter to me. I want to find out who is the better big game quarterback. And on Sunday night, we are going to learn that the opposite of what you've been believing to this date is true. Lamar Jackson is going to prove to be the better big game quarterback in this one on the road. And I believe it's because of the maturity that he's had now in the second year under Todd Monken's offense. This Ravens offensive attack looks unstoppable, and it looks just as good as it was all season long, even without wide receiver 1 Zay Flowers right now. I mean, they are historically good, averaging like 5.5, 6 yards per play. They buzzsaw through teams. So, couple stats from the wild card win over the Steelers: 299 yards on the ground between Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the rest of the bunch against a team that was top 10 in stopping the run throughout the season, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They pride themselves in being strong in the trenches. You know who else is good at stopping the run? The Buffalo Bills. Slightly behind the Steelers are the Bills at stifling the rushing attack. But this is one of the most unique rushing attacks in the history of the league when you have the smash and dash, but it's a quarterback and a running back, and also both of them fast as hell. Both of them they could turn on the burners and leave D-backs in the dust. I don't know if the Bills have it in them to be able to stifle this rushing attack enough to also be able to play with that lead that they were able to comfortably do against the Denver Broncos. This game, though it's going to come down to who is the better big game quarterback, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, it's going to matter more which one of those guys can make the stronger plays that are conservative. If you are stuck in an improvisational role, if you have to play on 3rd and long, 2nd and medium, if you're having to scramble around, avoid sacks, sling the ball around, you don't want to be doing that against either one of these opportunistic defenses. You can play around if you want to, Josh Allen, and toss that thing deep into the end zone on 4th and 1, but when it's Kyle Hamilton back there, instead of whoever the hell was covering that running back for the Denver Broncos, it's going to be a totally different story. And I do believe that the way that the Steelers got literally obliterated by the Ravens, that same attack can work. Whereas this is a totally different Ravens defense than we saw even in week 4 when this same Ravens squad played those Bills and beat the hell out of them 35-10. The Ravens are 1-point favorites right now on the road. The first time the Bills have been home dogs in the playoffs since the 60s. 18 straight games they have played at home in the playoffs. They've been favored. First time in literally decades and decades, and I do believe there's a reason for that. We might not be reacting strong enough off of what the Ravens have showed us this year and in the postseason. I like the Ravens to cover, and I do believe this thing might not even be a one-possession game come the end of it. Call me crazy, C-Katt. I'm just going by what I have seen this year and what I believe this Ravens offense could be.
But it feels like Groundhog Day. You know, the only big game Lamar Jackson played in last year was the AFC Championship game. I know it sounds crazy, but they never got tested until that game, and that was against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Lamar Jackson didn't help himself that much but he didn't get a lot of help either.
Yeah.
A lot of drops. It was like Groundhog Day all over again for Lamar Jackson in those big games where, one, they don't let him move around as much. They put a lot of fast guys and smaller guys in the secondary and around and can chase him down because Lamar Jackson's really fast, incredibly fast going up against the middle linebacker. He's a little bit more manageable if you've got safety, strong safety guys that can kind of chase him down.
Yeah.
But what Lamar Jackson can't do anything about, it's out of his control, is if his guys don't catch the freaking ball.
Yeah, man. That's been a story with him a lot.
And you know what? It's not even. And early in his career, it was a story of kind of week in and week out. But later on, this last couple of years, it seems like these receivers get a case of the drops in the worst possible moments. It seems like it just waits the biggest game of the year, then all of a sudden, Rashad Bateman can't catch the football. All of a sudden, Zay Flowers reaches to the goal line and gets the ball punched out at the half-yard line, taking off 7 points to the fleet. So there's been a lot of bad luck for Lamar. Maybe the Ravens have made strides between this year and last year. His receivers got to carry their weight too.
They do. They do, and you're expecting this to be a shootout, right? You're expecting this to be tit for tat. This is the 7th time in NFL history, just the 7th time that two offenses averaging 30 points per game are going to show down in the postseason. And I do believe there are very few answers to stop either side of the ball. As unreliable as Ravens pass catchers have been over the past few years, this is a very reliable Bills pass catching unit between Kincaid, Shakur, Amari Cooper, and even James Cook. He's been the best pass catching back out of the backfield all season long for Josh Allen. That offensive line the Bills have has been demonstratively better than most units they go up against. They were able to bully the Broncos. I can see why there is an assumption that this game right here could toe in the favor of the Bills if they get things rolling at home, but I just do not see a way in which that Bills defense is going to be able to contain not just the rushing attack, but the ability for Lamar Jackson to get out, escape sacks, and push the ball down the field when needed. You're right. If drops happen, drops happen. But are you really going to be contingent on hoping guys drop footballs if you're the Bills? Or are you going to – like, I just don't – it doesn't feel – that feels like the only flaw in this Ravens offense is unsteady hands by the receivers.
Hey, but you said it, man, how the Bills bullied their way over the Broncos. You look at the time of possession in that game, it was ridiculous.
Like 41 minutes, I think the Bills had the ball. Ugh.
If the Bills can do that to the Ravens, you find the Ravens in trouble. It's a simple game of keep away is going back to the basics in football strategy, running the ball. Like running the ball and keeping the football out of the playmakers' hands because the Bills have an opportunity to do just that.
They can, but the difference is that Ravens front seven a lot stronger than what the Broncos present when it comes to stopping the run. That's what the Ravens have historically been good at, especially under Harbaugh. Madubuike, the defensive tackle up front. Roquan Smith, one of the best run-stopping linebackers, and he also can be good in pass coverage as well. I don't see a way in which that is the way that they get beat. It's going to be Josh Allen on those 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts that are going to be able to create plays for the Bills. But how much of a steady diet can you live on that with? My favorite player projection, though, right now to go with is Lamar Jackson's rushing stats in this one. Have you seen on Prize Picks the numbers that they have for Lamar Jackson?
Haven't peeked at it yet.
54.5 rushing yards is the player projection for stats on Lamar Jackson and 9.5 rush attempts. He had 14 rushing attempts against the Steelers, excluding the kneel downs at the end of the game. 14. Let's not forget, when Lamar and the Ravens lost to the Eagles 24-19 about 5-6 weeks ago, and he got cussed out by his mama. A lot of that was, hey, what the hell are you doing trying to trust these dudes with the ball when you're the baddest man on earth? You need to take off with it more. You need to put the ball in your hands, and you need to take control of your own destiny. Talking about being a better big game quarterback, it's going to be about which one of these two guys, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, decide to take fate into their own hands. And ever since Lamar Jackson's mama cussed him out, Ravens have been, 5-0?
Yeah.
Lamar's been running for his life in a good way, not a bad way. It's not like he's been running around with no direction. He's been pushing the ball forward, moving the sticks, and this Ravens offense has become just a steamrolling presence. I believe we'll see the same thing even on the road. And I also think there is a lot right here between the ears with Lamar Jackson that is totally different from the things in the past. People talk about his playoff miscues from years past as if this is the same dude.